Hello, Thunderbirds of Pauline Johnson Collegiate there in Branford, Ontario. Thank you so much to Mr. Stammer, Mrs. Kramer, Madame Clark for inviting me into your leadership class, Students' Council, and to be heard by other leadership groups there at PJ. When I think about your school, which I visited 5 times in the past, and I annually cross paths with the Thunderbirds at an annual leadership conference I'm a part of down in Niagara Falls, and in the past in my hometown of London, your school has always stuck out in a very positive way. I'm a bit of a historian. I majored in history in university, and I'm always fascinated by mascots and the stories behind schools. And your school is very, very unique. You may be one of Canada's first schools named after a woman. You may be one of Canada's first schools named after an Aboriginal leader. Pauline Johnson was a trailblazer. Your school is a trailblazer. And during these unique times, we need leaders like you to blaze a trail, approach these challenging times with creativity, adaptability, and be willing to listen to each other, to the student body, to the staff, to what's going on in other schools, to come up with creative ways to adjust to these challenges. And I know you have, right? You went ahead with a virtual grad. You did a Terry Fox run. Fantastic. You're doing weekly trivia. You've continued Spirit Days. Keep it going. Even this is an example of us adjusting. I'm recording live, looking at my iPhone in my basement, instead of being with you in person. I had to do this for my friends at Fredericton High School. That's an annual visit I make to one of Canada's oldest high schools, founded in the late 1700s. And they've had to make some adjustments. They did their Remembrance Day assembly as a virtual event. Here's a great picture from their sock drive this fall, collecting socks for the homeless. They still went ahead, they just adjusted. Every 3 years, I visit my friends at Centennial Secondary School in Calgary. Even during these unique times, they've come up with new ideas. Look at this one. We're all gaining such appreciation for those that clean schools, clean our places of work, clean our homes. What a great tribute to their custodians with the fall theme. I love it. First time they did that. In fact, speaking with their student council advisor, he also recently came up with a new icebreaker for his leaders. They sit down with each other in pairs, and they ask the question, what's a new song you've recently put on your phone, and they share it with each other. What a great icebreaker. Even my old high school, where my grade 10 daughter attends, did their awards ceremony virtually and are still planning on doing their annual Christmas food drive, a food drive that I was a part of as a student leader at your age. So now going back to Pauline Johnson, what a source of inspiration for us during these incredibly challenging times. As I watched a documentary on her and read more about her, I was struck by her adaptability. 1884, her dad dies. She goes from living in Chiefswood there on the Six Nation, where people from all over the world would visit. And now they're on the brink of poverty. And when you're an unmarried woman and you have to take care of your siblings and an elderly mom, but her creativity shone through. Her poetry, her readings, her dramatic readings, her flair for costume and grabbing the attention of audiences, her courage to leave the Branford area and Six Nations and travel Canada, USA, Europe. You know the challenges she faced? A woman, unmarried, mixed race? The racism, stereotypes? But as I read her poetry, learned her life story, it bluntly inspired me. How can I adapt as a leader, as somebody who's 50 years old, who's been doing this for 28 years, visiting schools until March 13th, when 31 cancellations hit my inbox that weekend, and a career I've known since 1992 came to a rather screeching halt. I've adapted through videos like this. I've adapted through Zoom presentations. I've adapted by taking on a new job at Costco, where this guy works alongside some people your age who are bluntly faster than me on the cash register. Peyton, who's in grade 12, she's amazing, and she's so great with the members. And I say that to her all the time. I'd love to take her on tour to inspire kids all over Canada on what great work ethic is. Her bosses love her. She's just a little older than you or same age as you. So as you listen to my presentation in the coming minutes, think to yourself, how can we take Andy's idea, adjust them for 2020, 2021, and be inspired by our namesake, Pauline Johnson, and that key factor I get from her life, adaptability. So when I was asked to speak, I wanted to share with you a program I've been sharing since 1992. That presentation is called How Do We as Leaders Make Care Contagious, where you're an example of care for other people to follow. To conclude my time with you, Pauline Johnson Collegiate, home of the Thunderbirds, I want to end with this poem by your namesake, Pauline Degahunwagi Johnson. I read a number of her poems in preparation for my visit to your school, and this one struck me as the most timely and appropriate for 2020, 2021. When I read it and its imagery of a forest fire causing devastation, yet the beauty that arrives not long after, when fireweed appears and its distinctive purple blooms. Well, I'll let you hear it, and I think you can sense the imagery I want you to reflect on as we go into 2021. And only when the forest fires have sped, scorching relentlessly the cool north lands, a sweet wildflower lifts its purple head, and like some gentle spirit, sorrow-fed, it hides the scars with almost human hands. And only to the heart that knows of grief, of desolating fire, of human pain, there comes some purifying sweet belief, some fellow feeling beautiful if brief, and life revives and blossoms once again. I know this year has felt like a forest fire, devastating plans, devastating the economy, devastating families. But I love her imagery of sweet belief, beautiful, blossoms once again. We will get through this. And you can be a big part of that. I wish you the courage to care. Care is contagious, but it's got to start with me. And when you face negativity and the look, when you face rejection, don't reply with anger. Reply with care. Let the look, let rejection bounce off you. Your example of spirit, of listening, of being a great audience, of participation is an example for others to follow. In addition, when you invite and include using two-way communication and adjusting that two-way communication to 2021, using technology, calling on the phone, taking a walk, making those meaningful connections that people know that you care. Thunderbirds, I truly know and believe that we can make a difference and have the blooming of a better tomorrow. Go make care contagious, Thunderbirds.